What's up, guys? Good morning. It is Friday, the end of another week. Today I'm talking about one of the most controversial people on YouTube. That's right, it's Jonathan Joly. So recently I feel like, having watched a lot of his videos recently, I've kind of started to get more of an understanding of why I get such a sinister vibe from him in particular. I've always gotten a sinister vibe from him, and I've never really kind of understood why, but I feel like as time has sort of gone on, I feel like I've kind of gotten more of an understanding of why I get such a sinister vibe from him. And I think it's not hard to see why people think that Jonathan is such a creep and is such a dodgy individual, because he really is. And I don't get how people can't see just how much of a creep Jonathan is. It actually shocks me sometimes, the fact that people are willing to try and jump to his defense when the guy is such a creep and he knows exactly what he's doing. All he's doing is pedo baiting his kids, sexualizing his kids at every single opportunity he gets. And it shocks me that some people are unable to see that. That it's like they're unable to see the fact that he's basically pedo baiting and sexualizing his kids basically on a daily basis. It's like there's certain things he does, where people jump on it, where people jump to his defense and say, oh, it's unintentional. But it doesn't always feel like it's unintentional. Like the other week when he was filming the videos, and he sort of zoomed in on Amelia's upper chest area. Now, a lot of people did jump to Jonathan's defense, as people obviously called him out for it in the comments, in the comments of the videos, that questioned the fact that he was zooming in on Amelia's upper chest area. And a lot of people actually did jump to Jonathan's defense and were saying, oh, it wasn't intentional, he didn't mean to do that, it wasn't deliberate or anything like that. But when I looked at it, it didn't feel like it was unintentional. It didn't feel like it was that, it didn't feel like it was purely accidental in any particular way. It felt like it was deliberate. It felt like it was intentional. It felt like he had intended on zooming in on her upper chest area, and as he knew the reaction he would get from that. There's certainly a very good reason for why Jonathan is such a controversial person, and why so many people hate him the way they do. He might come across as a decent father in the videos, but I don't see it as quite a decent father. I see a father who's basically choosing to pedo bait his children. This is what he's doing. He is basically choosing to expose his children to pedophiles and child predators on the internet. And he knows what to, that's exactly what he's doing. I'm just wanting to fly away with it. It's just madness, seeing a father kind of exposing his children to predators in the way the pedos on the internet, in the way that Jonathan is, and it's very clear to see very easy to see that is what he's doing, or that is what he's trying to do, and I don't get how people can't see that is what he's trying to do, because it's very clear to see that. I'm sick of people jumping to Jonathan, to Jonathan's defense. Because people shouldn't be defending someone like him. People should not be sticking up for an individual like him, who has such a bad reputation. There's a reason why Jonathan has such a bad reputation and is so controversial. I was seeing everything you're seeing in the videos he puts out there online, it just feels really disgusting, really inappropriate, really, it doesn't, for what's supposed, it's supposed to be a family channel. But, like, hardly any of his content really feels family friendly. Like, it feels like he's trying, you know, you can see that he's trying to attract a, like a certain type of audience to videos of his children. And I was very clear to see that. You know, this is why I'm so against him, against the fact that he's constantly using open mouth thumbnails. You know, I don't get how that alone, you know, doesn't stand out to people, because it stands out to me. The fact that he's constantly using open mouth thumbnails really stands out to me. And there is a very good reason why he uses thumbnails like that, because he knows that thumbnails like that will attract creeps and predators to videos of his children. You know, and it is frustrating seeing a father doing that. You know, you can see just how little he cares about his children. It's like, why would he care about why would he care about the fact that he could be exposing his children to creeps and predators? At the end of the day, it's still money. At the end of the day, you know, he's still getting a decent amount of views. You know, but it's like, it frustrates me that when people actually call him out for certain things, it's like they're made out to be the creeps, they're made out to be the ones in the wrong. You know, for actually having the guts to call Jonathan out for certain things that he does. For example, when he was filming his, you know, he zoomed in on his 12-year-old daughter's upper chest area. People should not have been defending him over that. At the end of the day, people shouldn't have been trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because it was disgusting, you know, and he knew what he was doing with that. It wasn't unintentional, you know. I'm not hitting right. If it had been a random person that didn't have the sort of reputation that Jonathan has, or wasn't as controversial as Jonathan is, I would probably have been more obliged to believe that it was unintentional. I would have given that person the benefit of the doubt. But when it comes to people like Jonathan Joly, like, it's impossible for me to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's impossible for me to think that the certain things that he does are completely unintentional, because it doesn't feel like they are. Like, this is the problem. It doesn't feel like the certain things that he does are unintentional. As I said, if it was somebody else, if it was a random person that doesn't have the sort of reputation that he himself has, or wasn't as controversial as he is, I would probably be more likely to, to actually, give that person the benefit of the doubt. There's no doubt about that. You know, without a doubt, if it was a random person, if it was someone else, I would probably be a lot less, negative than I'm being now. But when it comes to people like Jonathan Joly, they deserve to be called out, because the things that he does are absolutely disgusting. There is a perfectly good reason for why I get such an uneasy, a dodgy vibe from him. Every time I watch his videos, not so much his, but Jonathan just makes me feel really uncomfortable, really uneasy. But it makes, it just feels like there's something not right about him. When you see certain things, it does actually make you wonder how social services haven't already gotten involved. And I feel like they need to at this point. They need to look at the sort of things that Jonathan is doing. The fact that he as a father thinks it's okay to do the things he does is actually disgusting. What sort of father puts their children out on the internet the way that Jonathan does? This is the thing. No decent father would put their kids out there online out there on the internet in the way that Jonathan does. The way that Jonathan puts his kids out there on the internet is absolutely unacceptable. It is absolutely disgusting. And I can't understand how people can't see how wrong it is. It's disgusting what he's doing. Fuck off flies. I don't know my nerves, these flies. fuck off. Leave me alone. I'm trying to record and they're all flying around me, they're getting on my nerves. But, it's just, you know, I don't get how people can't see how much of a creep Jonathan is. It's very clear to see that the guy is, you know, is a very sick, twisted individual. You know, he's not someone that people should want to have anything to do with or should want their kids to be around. You know, he shouldn't be, in my opinion, he shouldn't even be allowed near kids. As a guy's a fucking, you know, a creep. He's a pervert. You know, me doing this video, I'm not trying to imply that I think Jonathan is a nonce, or I think he's a paedophile or something like that. You know, and I don't think anybody is trying to claim that, or is making that kind of assumption. Because I think at the end of the day, you can't really say, oh, well, someone's a paedophile or someone's a nonce, because you're not really seeing anything like that you're not really seeing anything in the videos that would make you think, well, Jonathan's a bit of a nonce, or a bit of a paedophile in some way. But, I mean, yeah, maybe it's okay for people to think that, but, you know, you can't really accuse someone of being, you know, I would never accuse somebody of being a paedophile or being a nonce, unless I actually had proof of that, unless I had proof to back me up on that. You know, I mean, I think Jonathan's a creep, and I think Jonathan's a pervert. And the reason I say that is because I've seen a lot of things in his videos that have really proven that to me. You know, his choice of thumbnails alone really proved to me just what, you know, the sort of individual that Jonathan is. You know, the fact that he's using the sort of thumbnails he uses for his videos really says a lot to me about the sort of person that he is. You know, add that to the sort, you know, to the things that he shows in the videos and the way that he puts his kids out there on the internet. It's just very, very sinister. It's just it's just not normal. You know, it's not normal for a father to be putting his children out there on the internet the way that Jonathan does. Like, you know, like, the guy is incredibly insane. I don't mean insane in a good way, I mean insane in a very bad way. You know, it's just, it's like, I mean, I thought about how much Christian is, and I talked about, you know, I've spoken about Jordan Matter in the past, and I said that, you know, Jordan Matter comes across as a bit of a creep as well, but I don't feel like they're as bad as Jonathan is. I feel like Jonathan and Joly is a lot worse than them. I mean, yeah, obviously Jonathan and Jordan Matter haven't been accused of the things that Chris has been accused of, like child grooming or anything like that, but they're still very dodgy individuals. You know, Jonathan in particular, you know, there's just something not right about him. Like, you know, why would I sympathise with someone who's choosing to put their kids out there online the way that Jonathan is? You know, I can't sympathise with people like that. You know, especially when they're putting their kids out there online, you know, in the way that Jonathan is putting his kids out there online and putting his kids out there on the internet. It's just, you know, it makes you feel like, there's certain things you see in his videos and it makes you feel sick it makes me feel sick to my stomach. Like, it makes me, right now, it's making me feel sick to my stomach knowing that Jonathan as a father is putting his kids out there on the internet the way that he is. Like, and he doesn't see it makes me feel sick to my stomach knowing that he doesn't see anything wrong in what he's doing. Like, he doesn't seem to think that, you know, he doesn't see anything wrong with the way that he puts his kids out there on the internet. He doesn't see anything wrong with using open mouth thumbnails. You know, he doesn't see, you know, he's not stopping to think about the fact that he's exposing his creeps and predators. I mean, I don't think he really cares about that, because I think that's what he's trying to do. He's deliberately trying to do that. He's deliberately trying to expose his children to creeps and predators. And I don't get how people can't see that. You know, it really is puzzling. If you can see that in my life, you can tell that he's trying to expose his children to creeps and predators at every opportunity he gets. You know, I feel sorry for those kids having a father like Jonathan. You know, I mean, people say, oh, Jonathan's such a great supportive father. So yeah, supportive of what? I mean, how do people believe that Edie's genuinely trans? She's not trans. It's all fake. You know, and I will say that about that as it's true. I'm happy to say it's fake, because it is fake. You know, that's exactly what it is. You know, I'd love to be, you know, less critical than I am being, but it's just like these things really needed to be said. You know, the reason I'm saying these things is because, you know, I'm sick of people jumping to Jonathan's defense every day. You know, when he's such a creep, you know, when he's doing things that are so creepy and so perverted. You know, like everything about him that says I'm a massive pervert. You know, nothing about him says decent father. You know, says, you know, it tells me that he's a father who cares about his kids. You know, you can see, you know, all he cares about is exposing his children to creeps and predators on a daily basis and making them a target for that sort of audience. Because that is what he's doing every single fucking day. Is he's making his children a target for creeps and child predators on the internet. That's what he's fucking trying to do. And I love that how people can't fucking see that. I mean, how stupid can some people, and deluded can some people seriously fucking be? To defend a fucking pervert like that. You know, to defend a pervert that's constantly using open mouth thumbnails and doing it, you know, and constantly showing things in his vlogs and showing things in his videos that would entice that sort of audience. You know, how do people respect Jonathan and applaud Jonathan for putting his hits out there on the internet the way that he does? What is wrong with people? You know, some people are seriously fucking insane and seriously fucking stupid to defend someone like Jonathan when, you know, when you think about the way that he's putting his kids out there online. It's fucking ridiculous at this point. Nobody in their right mind would seriously defend a fucking pervert like him. It has to be said. You know, I don't think it's a case of people are looking at things in a dodgy way, or looking at things in a creepy way or sinister way. You know, nobody is doing that. Nobody is looking at things in a creepy, perverted way. We know what we see, and what we see is a man or a father who is basically constantly making his children a target for creeps and child predators on the internet. What we see is a father that is constantly doing things that he knows will attract creeps and predators. The guy is a fucking deranged lunatic. He is a monster. He is a vile, disgusting creep. He is pure evil. You know, and I will say these things because they're true. He is vile. He is disgusting. You know. But you can't just blame Jonathan. You have to blame Anna as well. And she lets Jonathan do the things he does. Does she not think it's a bit weird that her husband is zooming in on a 12-year-old daughter's upper chest area? Does she not see something wrong with that? Does she not see something wrong with the way that Jonathan is putting his kids out there online? Oh wait, Anna's too obsessed with her gay best friend Matt to care about anything that Jonathan does. You know, at the end of the day, Jonathan can basically do what the fuck he likes, as Anna doesn't give a shit. You can clearly see that. You can tell that by a mile. You know, she as a mother should not be, and a wife should not be letting Jonathan do the things he does. You know, she should be putting her foot down, but she lets him do the things he does. You know. It's just fucking ridiculous. That family is, you know, not so much the kids. You know, you feel sorry for the kids. It's the parents that are fucking beyond, you know, a fucking joke at this point. I mean, who let say a 10-year-old kid go out on a date? You know, crying out loud. You know, I mean, I think it was probably a joke. But, you know, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, the guy is a fucking creep. I'm not gonna say he's a pervert or a nonce, like a pedophile or a nonce, because I don't want to be getting into that kind of an argument, but I will say he's a pervert, because that's exactly what he is. You know, and I'm not gonna hold back on that, and hold back on that for the risk of offending someone. I don't care if people are offended by me by me branding Jonathan a pervert. You know, I don't care if it's slander. You know, at the end of the day, it's hardly slander when it's actually true. You know, everything I've said in this video is true. Jonathan is a fucking pervert, pure and simple. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you for another one soon. End of. Bye bye.